This segment is sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, welcome back, everyone. Southern Woods and Waters. And before we get started, we got some new people watching the show. I just got told. The Cedar Creek Boys. Have you ever heard of them, Randall? The singing group, the Cedar Creek Boys. They're at the Rhythm Saloon in beautiful Mount Juliet, Tennessee, and they are watching us as we speak. Wow. They know Wes and they know Randall, and I'm sorry. My condolences to your families. But they said we wanted
hello
to say
to everybody in Mount Juliet.
That's right. So big shout out to the Rhythm Saloon and the Cedar Creek Boys and all our fine friends that are there tonight, and we appreciate them watching and taking the time to watch. Hey, we can enlighten them on the rut though, can't we, Randall?
Yeah, we can help them out with that.
Then Wes, we went through kind of the lockdown. We went through the pre-rut, kind of the chasing stage. Then we do the lockdown where they actually get with a doe. They'll spend 2 or 3 days, ever how long it takes. But then there's another phase. And I like to call this Slim Pickens phase. And it's you know, like you said, the majority of them have already, the does have been bred. And what we want our viewers to realize is that does are different. They will come into estrus every 28 days until she is bred. Mm-hmm. And people don't realize, they think, oh, she's just gonna come into estrus once or twice and then that's it. If she doesn't get lucky, she's just gonna go barren. That's not true. She will keep coming into estrus as long as she's not bred, and then when she's bred, that's when it stops. So people need to realize
it don't matter if it's February, it don't matter if it's March. Right. If she hasn't been bred yet, she'll come back in March just like she came in November.
You and I have discussed, I saw a fawn being born on September the 2nd.
All the time.
And to go to something that Randall mentioned the other day, seen them born in April too.
I tried to find that picture. I had one that shows the old stinkweed.
Yeah.
You know, right when the purple top flower, you know, out in the yard. And it was in April. And that don't happen all the time.
No.
And a lot of people don't like to hear you say April. Well, we'll just say a few days before May 1st.
Yeah. That's right.
But, you know, there's no difference. Right. But when that old buck sheds that velvet,
he's ready.
He starts making scrapes. The last deer I killed at Fort Campbell had scrapes everywhere on September the 16th. A hot dog comes bouncing across the bean field, went over in the woods and got him and brought him right back out. You know, so there's really nothing there. But like we were talking about a while ago, they just get used to it.
That's right.
And of course, on a cold day, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, it just is.
But Randall, the Slim Pickens, what we call the Slim Pickens phase, I think he loses just as much weight during that phase as he does the actual breeding phase of all the does he can breed, because he's running so much further around to find that receptive doe. He still has it in his mind that there's a harem out there that he hadn't gotten to yet.
The first couple of girls he sees was at a bus stop.
Yeah, at the bus stop.
And then he finds them in these bars. The bars is what ruins him. You know, they close the bar down, he's got to go looking. You know, that's what happens.
It's 3 o'clock, we got to shut it down.
That's right.
Nashville law says we got to shut it down.
Yeah, he don't care.
He doesn't care. He's still, it's Friday night and he's still got a pocket full of change.
That's right, yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. And it's got me through, and you too, Brandon. I mean, it's gotten us through many a season thinking that way, that it's Friday night. Yeah. I don't have a date just yet. I need a date.
Yeah.
And so he's looking. This is my favorite time. Really is.
Oh yeah.
It's the funnest time of year.
It's the funnest one for me. Is that Slim Pickens, and because that's when if you do like your lures and stuff like that, the deer lures and stuff, this is the time I like to use them, just to play with him. I want to play with his mind. I want to get him all shook up, you know. Right. So that's what I do. But I need you guys to enlighten. I mean, because I'm just one guy. Y'all do it a different way than I do, I'm sure. So tell us a little bit about it, Wes.
Well, I mean, that time of year too, one thing I like to do is I'll try to have I'll try to know all my travel patterns on the property I'm hunting.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have your better places, but by that time, you might want to go looking and hunting some of maybe the doe travel patterns that you don't hunt as much. You know, you want to move and check some other patterns out that might, you know, have some activity that you didn't earlier, or, you know, might not be your best, but
Yeah.
it might be the one that you kill the next buck off of.
Randall, I got a question for you. Nobody ever thinks about this, and this is how weird my mind works sometimes. The does don't really change. They have a bedding area. They have a feeding area. They have travel areas.
Core.
Their core
Right.
group. And that, if a hunter would find that, I think he's
And
got
leave it
half,
alone.
and leave it alone.
And leave the does
Stay on the
alone.
outskirts of it if you do anything. Half the battle's over with. Is that kind of your way of thinking too?
That's exactly the way I think on it.
Yeah.
And that, when he comes out there, he comes out there. If you're there, you can kill him. If you're not there, he's going to come out there anyway. The rut is the mating season. From here to here. And it's like this. You know, I mean, it's the more does that old buck has got in there, the less he has to roam. And the less his chances are coming out of that thicket to have to go anywhere. Like I said, that doe, when that doe comes in heat, she don't wait on him. She goes looking for him. You can hear him off in cut over timber. You can hear that doe running, plumb up and holler.
Yeah,
you know.
holler to holler.
Yeah. And you'll hear her doing that little old, you know. And she's looking. He knows that.
He knows
He
it
just and she knows where he's at. You know.
all the time.
Yeah. Or where he should be.
Brandon, I want to ask you, because Brandon, ladies and gentlemen, is my partner and resident deer expert. But Brandon, you've been checking cameras. This is also the time of the year, I believe, this segment we're going through right now, Brandon, this is where your property is going to see a lot of new bucks.
You do. You know, I called you actually just day before yesterday and told you. I was telling Wes about it earlier. We run cameras all the time. I run them 365 days a year. And on a farm the other day that I have 7 cameras sitting on, I had a buck show up night before last I've never seen. I mean, a nice 4.5, maybe 5.5-year-old buck, never laid eyes on him. A lot of these deer, that they might be summering somewhere else. And, you know, he's got this area that he's going to come in, he's going to start checking does and things like that. And that's where, like Randall says, you leave these does alone and you have him in here feeding in these areas, he will be there to check those areas. And that buck knows, whether he's been there all year or not, he knows those areas and he knows those food sources. And the doe is about the groceries 365 days a year.
Yeah.
All she thinks about is bedding somewhere safe and eating somewhere safe and going back and bedding somewhere safe. And so a lot of times you'll get these surprise bucks, which are I love.
They don't care about the jewelry or the diamonds like that.
That's right. They don't. You know, but that's what I think brings them into different areas, is they know that there's a food source there, and they know there's a lot of does there, and they're going to go just like we would. They're going to go where their chances are the highest, especially as all these are just beginning to come in, you know, come into heat.
Well, I want to tell you this. I want to take this time, and my partner Brandon and I haven't even discussed this, so I might be in trouble. But I want Wes and Randall to come back on here. I want to talk to them after this. The subject is should we shoot does? Should we be killing does at the first of the season? Or should we wait, because more does, more bucks during the rut? And so we're going to make that a separate show. Let's do that.
We'll have to do that sometime.
I'd like to hear what you three
Yeah,
have to
I was
say
gonna
about quality
that's
deer
That's
management.
one of those real, you know, that can get real
You know what,
interesting.
you just like to stir that pot.
Yeah. That one can get people stirred up pretty good.
Now, I like to stir y'all
Yeah.
up. I see a lot of fire in your eyes right now. But, you know, with the rut going on, we've got about 4 or 5 days here in a row that they're calling for rain, 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 rain. Now, I haven't heard that it's going to be a blustering sideways rain. This is going to be a straight down, maybe a little harder than a mist, maybe even a sprinkle. I think it's on like Donkey Kong. That's the time to go.
Yeah. I've told people for a long time if I couldn't take any other days, it would be a northern front with a straight down light rain in the month of November.
So muzzleloader open Saturday is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be nice, and you know, you hear a lot of people are worried about this warm weather and all that. I'm telling you, when it's time, it's time. He don't care about the weather.
He don't care what the weather looks like right now.
No, he don't.
Saturday is a special day.
Saturday is.
That moon is going to be straight up about 1 o'clock, the full moon. And if you've never just really watched that,
it happens.
Stay out there all day Saturday. Of all
and I'm going to tell you
days,
something. I've always heard, Randall, you have too, we were born around the same time, raised the same way. When that moon's either straight above your head or down below your feet, that's the time to be out there in the woods.
And especially on this one.
Yeah, with the rut right here.
Yeah, it's a full moon Saturday. So
yeah.
Well, Randall, are you going to take your smoke pole and you're going to take your little sack of lunch and you're going to stay there all day?
Well, I'm going to take Daddy. He's just a little better than 90 years old, but he's about to get it down. So,
he's about to get it down.
He's ready to go. And old Devin will be out there, so we'll be after him, you know.
So Devin going for 58.
57. They recounted the other night. He's got 56 now.
So it's 57 Devin will be going for.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to do a tip of the week.
We do.
Have you got one?
I do.
Oh, that's good. Hey, this week's tip of the week is being brought to you by Davidson County Farmers Co-op. You got to go over there off of Dickerson Road. You got to tell Miss Laura, all of them there, they all are sweet, sweet people. They are there eager to help you with all of your outdoor pet needs, cow needs, equine needs, rabbit. Hey, they're selling heated chicken coops. By golly, we got them over there.
Keep them chickens
They
warm.
got to keep those eggs just borderline on the sunny side up.
That's right.
What do you got
That's
for me, Brandon?
Well, you know, here on the site and lots of people here lately, they've been talking about shooting their muzzleloaders. You know, it's all been about sighting in muzzleloaders. And if I've heard it once, I've heard 1,000 times. What bullet should I shoot? What powder should I shoot? Well, with a muzzleloader, it has to be almost fine-tuned. And me and Andy actually proved to ourselves, especially this past week, that two identical, exact same muzzleloaders may not like the same ammunition and powder combination.
They don't.
So my point is, when you're trying to sight one in, don't get frustrated. If it's not doing what you want it to do, change your bullet. If your bullet's usually going to be the most likely thing to change. If that doesn't work, start changing you can go up to 110 grains, drop down to 90 grains. But my point is, don't just ask somebody, hey, Hugh shoots 100 grains and a 250 grain bullet, that's what I need to shoot, and my gun's not shooting right, I don't understand. So just be patient with them and take the time that it takes to fine tune it, and once you find the bullet and the powder your gun likes, you'll be happy with it from then on.
And write it down. I've always figured out, write it down on your target, what you did, and then at the end of the day, look at your targets and go, that's a pretty good group right there.
Yeah, it is. And determine what it likes best, and then dial it in and get it where you want it to be. But that gun has got to be shooting what it likes.
Brandon, I can tell you and Andy shot a lot of powder.
You could smell the sulfur in the air is all I say.
Your daddy could from Sevierville could smell it.
That's right.
A lot of people don't get it done because they get in a hurry.
They do.
You got to take your time. You got to take your time.
Don't never go to a range in a hurry.
No.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back with more of West on Randall Haley. Hurry back to more Southern Woods Waters.